And I'll never forget that first year, the week of our wedding, I did, still to this day, the biggest bed bug job I've ever done. It was right around 40 units, and it took me multiple days to do it. And it was rough. It was awful work. You know, the days that you dream of, but at the same time, they also are your nightmares. But literally the week of our wedding, that's all I did. 2 beds in each room. Yeah, but that made our year. That literally made our year. That one job turned out to really, in our first year, if there was one thing to look at, you know, that we kind of got lucky, if you will, in that first year, it was that. It just feels like, you know, 22 and 23, those were holy crap years. We got through them. We built a wide foundation. You know, we're building a pyramid, not a pyramid scheme, but we're building a pyramid. So we built a wide foundation and, you know, going up. And so I want that foundation to be stable. You know, I want to be able to get to 4 or 5 full-time employees here over the next couple of years, because I think we can do that. I think the quality of the work, the processes that we have in place, you know, the training, things like that, I know we can do it. I'm really proud of the processes and the quality of work we do. Everybody, Chris Shipley, Shipley Pest Solutions. Wanted to bring you along today. This is kind of an end of an era. This is my original 2010 Silverado that when I first started my business almost 8 years ago now, this was the truck. And I still remember putting the lettering on. It was cold. My stepdad helped me put the lettering on, and just how scared I was, how anxious, excited, just all the emotions. I wasn't yet married, but Michelle and I were dating at the time. We had bought a house recently within, you know, the previous few years. And so we were kind of settled in a bit, but I mean, we were jumping off a cliff, and she believed in me, and trusted in me that we'd jump off this cliff together. And here we are. So the reason I'm taking this off, and this is the end of an era, is that I bought another truck, and so we don't necessarily need 4 trucks. I could probably purpose 4 trucks next year, but right now we're gonna have 3. I have the Colorado stored in the barn here over here, and then the other one, the other new truck will be in the other side. So my barn will hold everything just fine. And yeah, just an end of an era. Bittersweet. This truck, it's got about 295,000 miles on it. You know, for the longest time. So my first year I started, I had just this truck. Then I started my second year, I'd saved up enough cash. I bought the Colorado because I knew I needed to expand. And then my brother came on board that spring, and he worked with me for 5 years, 5.5, somewhere in there. And, you know, it was just me and him for the longest time. And I probably should have added another person sooner, but life happens. We moved, we bought a new house. We had 2 children. Of course, we got married. I had 2 children. I've had 4 knee surgeries since starting the business. You know, and I think that's the stuff that people kind of get skipped over. You know, and if you're reading a book of the history or the business, a lot of that stuff gets skipped over. You know, that's chapter 1, chapter 2 type stuff. And everyone always, you know, you remember how it ends. But part of this is just documentation to kind of see how far I've come. You know, we're finishing our 7th year here, our highest revenue ever. So I appreciate everybody for that. Thank you. And yeah, just head down, just focused. Next year, very excited again for next year. Had added 2 part-time employees this year, got them trained. They were wonderful additions. And then, yeah, we, what a year. It's been amazing, and what a ride, really. You know, like I said, my brother helping us get, you know, to here, and then him moving on, and then kind of struggling to hire people or fire people, you know, a couple of years in a row, 2 knee surgeries in a year, new children, and then to end up here at the end of 2024 and be able to reflect and kind of look at things. Very grateful, very grateful. Have a lot of stuff. You know, my sights are set much higher, obviously. Very excited for next year. Very excited for the part-time help that we're going to be able to roll one of those guys into a full-time technician. He's going to make an excellent technician, and so that's very nice. And then having that part-time help there as well, so that we can better satisfy customers, and really just the outlook is beautiful. The outlook's great. So very excited. But yeah, just figured I'd ramble a little bit while I peel the logos off my first truck, and the Shipley Pest Solutions truck to me. A truck I just spent days and days and years in. So this lettering has been on here, like I said, about seven full years. So I've already peeled the other side and the tailgate, and so now we just have this side left. So I often think, what could have been, what could have happened. We certainly could have had a lot of bad things happen to us over the years that could have ruined us. But overall, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I think, if you want to be self-employed and you want to own a business, you just have to be prepared to eat plates and plates and plates of crap. And there's going to be times where you want to quit, you want to sell the business, you want to give it all up. And then there are times where you feel very victorious. You win the little battles, then you win some bigger battles, then you win some more little battles. I often think that first year of business for us, which was the year we got married, by the way. So the first year my wife and I got married, that's when I started the business. And she was a teacher at the time. We basically had budgeted and were frugal enough that we made do with her salary and her insurance at the time. And like I said, we didn't have kids yet. We had a dog. And I'll never forget that first year, the week of our wedding, I did, still to this day, the biggest bed bug job I've ever done. It was right around 40 units, and it took me multiple days to do it. And it was rough. It was awful work. The days that you dream of, but at the same time, they also are your nightmares. But literally the week of our wedding, that's all I did that Monday and Tuesday. And then I didn't work Wednesday, Thursday or Friday to prepare for the wedding. But yeah, over 40 units of bed bugs. 2 beds in each room. Yeah, but that made our year. That literally made our year. 2 days. Now we're doing all the other work throughout the year to add up and build the mountain. But yeah, that one job turned out to really, in our first year, if there was one thing to look at, that we kind of got lucky, if you will, in that first year, it was that. And it's funny, I think about a lot of so that was the first year of business, but I think a lot about the second, third, and fourth year. it was really kind of the dream. I was living the dream. You know, my brother and I were working together. And we hadn't grown up together or anything like that. But it was fun. You know, we'd come in, get our work done. It was early growth stage. We're hungry. I was, you know, younger. I was early 30s. He wasn't even, I don't even think he was 20 yet. And then, yeah, it was just kind of fun. Didn't have kids, didn't have as many responsibilities. Just hungry. And it was kind of perfect because, you know, I loved to fish and everything, and I would just bust my butt for basically 3-4 days a week, work 8-10 hours, get the work done, and then I'd take a day off and go fishing. Same with my brother. He'd just have a day off. And we got by. We made ends meet. Like, that was, to me, I was living the dream. I started a business. We were able to pay for things. I'm able to fish. I'm able to have fun. You know, I have this new wife. I'm employing my brother, and things were good, you know, and just kept growing and growing. And then, I don't want to say everything changed, but life certainly did when my son was born. And, you know, to me, that's been probably one of the most transformative things that's ever really happened in my life, was the birth of both my kids, but my son in particular. Yeah, almost tear up thinking about it. You know, because I always compare it to people, and I always try and tell people, kids take life from black and white and they turn it into color. And that was, you know, if you needed more motivation as a business owner, as a young father, or new father, not young, and a new husband, that was it. And, you know, self-admittedly, I've been self-reflective. There were a couple years where I just kind of treaded water and got by. It was easy. I wasn't as hungry. I didn't push myself. And the birth of my son really kind of kicked it up a notch there. It was like, okay, you know, it's really on now. You know, I used to say, like, you know, I wasn't worried about the competition because you're not going to outwork me. You're working 12-hour days. I'm going to work 13. You're going to work 13? Okay, I'll work 14. And I'll work 6 days a week. And did that for years and years and years. You know, and I was fishing a lot. Fish tournaments, fish competitively, do all that. And the last, the year after my son was born, I recognized fishing just kind of felt hollow. It kind of didn't feel the same. You know, go out there all day long, which when I later determined and realized it was for my own ego, to go out there and you know, catch green fish, weigh it in, win or lose. And so the last 2 years I fished, just something felt hollow. And then I finally came to terms with the fact that it was me. I needed to just focus on being a dad. It was time to be a dad. It was time to be a great husband. And it was time to be a great business owner. And that was the beginning of 2022. And so that tracks about 5 years since I started the business. And so, like I said, there were probably 3 years or so there where I just kind of was what it was. Life was great, you know. Didn't really push myself. You know, the business had made it after the first couple of years. I wasn't worried about the business. And was just getting by. You know, and again, that's something I've just come to terms with and been honest to myself about. But yeah, it was really my son, and then my daughter was on the way. And 2022 is kind of really the demarcation line for me, myself, just admittedly as a father, as a husband, and as a business owner. 2022 was kind of where everything changed for us. So at the end of 21, we had sold our original house that we were in. It was time to move, time to expand. We ended up buying the property that we're currently in. And got this building, it would allow for us to expand, add trucks, add employees, etc. And daughter's born late in the year, and then we roll into 2022. In the beginning of 2022, I tore my meniscus in my left knee. And then got through that, didn't get surgery on it for like a month. So we started the season behind, got through it, towards the end of the season, I tear my other knee, my other meniscus. And then my brother ended up leaving also. He needed to move on. He wasn't happy doing what he's doing, and that's completely fine. I mean, we made terms with that. It is what it is, and just kind of part of life. And so 2022 was 22 would have and probably should have ended the business in all reality, but I'm just too stubborn. I refuse to give up, and we got through 22, got through rehab again, get into 23, and it was just gut check time. We were interviewing an employee, going to hire him. The process was rough finding work in 23. The economy was still down in 2023. Like people, really the economy kind of bottomed, if you will, 22-ish, late 22, 23. And we compete where we're at here against the RV manufacturers in the biomedical field, so the device manufacturers. And at the time, we just weren't prepared to pay $20 to $25 an hour. I think in 23, I think we were going to start somebody at 18 and then move them to 20 or 22 based on their skill set once they got licensed. And so found a candidate, and turned out we couldn't hire him for a reason. And that wound us into May, and it was just kind of, my wife and I looked at each other, and it was like, well, we're going to do this. And so we've got a young kid, got another young kid, got a newish house, and no employees, my wife and I, and 2023 was just gut check time. 23 was work all the time. And we got through it. We survived, and made some customers mad. The unfortunate thing that a lot of people don't understand, and I don't expect people to, is, we can't just hire anybody. This is skilled labor. You have to pass a test. You have to be trained. You're driving around with chemical in your vehicle. And so I'm not going to throw just anybody out there, let alone people are in your house. Okay. So I can't hire felons. I can't hire, people that might have certain criminal backgrounds, because they're going to be in houses. They're going to be in houses maybe when people aren't home, maybe when kids are around. And so it's my responsibility to hire responsible individuals to send out into the field to represent not only my company, but just treat the customers well. And so, 2023 was rough as well. So between 2022, having a newborn kid, my wife had come home from teaching. She was now in the office full time. And me having 2 knee surgeries and losing around 3 months of work time. And then we roll into 23. It was a couple years of very rough times. And I take all the responsibility for it. It's my fault. My name's on the truck. And it's my fault. But there's been many. You could have come up with 1,000 ways to quit, sell the business, and move on in the 7 years I've been in business. And I think any business owner knows that. I think any business owner that's worth their weight or is going to be honest will admit that to you. You hit roadblocks, you hit headaches, you're dealing with employees, you're dealing with customers, you're dealing with just whatever. Just stuff goes wrong. I mean, this truck's it's on its 3rd engine and 2nd transmission. Stuff just goes wrong. You can plan for things, you can do your best. But at the end of the day, you have to have it in your heart if you want to keep going. And for me, this is where this ties into pest control. I love it. I love all the customers. I appreciate all our customers. I love the problem-solving aspect of pest control. Training the newer employee, well, he's been with us almost 6 months now. But he loves it. He's been inside his whole working life. And he's kind of amazed at just, holy cow, I'm outside. I'm in the sun. I'm interacting with customers, and our customer base is great. we've dropped the ball on some things, being late on some services for sure. But that's getting solved, and it did get solved. And, I'm the type of guy where I will lose money to make sure the customer's happy. Always. I'm an honest person. Everyone always asks, well, how do you start a business? Well, it's pretty easy. Charge a reasonable rate. Don't screw people. Honor if you have a warranty, honor it, and go back and stand on your work and manage money reasonably. It's very easy. And, so I'm very fortunate to have the customer base we do that really appreciates us, because we really appreciate them. And, it always gets me, there's a couple percentage of customers that, it's okay to tell them to go somewhere else. When you don't see eye to eye on something, or if they think you dropped the ball on something, fair enough. That's okay for them to have that opinion, and you take what you can out of it. You take some notes, you figure out what's wrong, and you move forward. That's how you get better. That's how you stay in business longer. We're getting ready to enter our 8th year. Add a, another full-time employee with a part-time, and I'm really optimistic about next year. I really am. It just feels like, 22 and 23, those were holy crap years. We got through them. We built a wide foundation. We're building a pyramid, not a pyramid scheme, but we're building a pyramid. So we built a wide foundation and, going up. And so I want that foundation to be stable. I want to be able to get to 4 or 5 full-time employees here over the next couple of years, because I think we can do that. I think the quality of the work, the processes that we have in place, the training, things like that, I know we can do it. I'm really proud of the processes and the quality of work we do. And just honestly and objectively, the only thing you can knock us for is the fact that we haven't been able to service people in a reasonable amount of time because we're so busy. And that's something I've actively worked on. And it's taken me literally 6 to 8 months to recruit the right people to be able to put them in place and train them and get them comfortable enough. So when next year rolls out, we're rolling with 3 trucks right out the gate. And so I guess that's just me blabbing about our story a bit, the end of an era, rolling into a new era. I'm optimistic. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I look back, when we first got this truck, I was optimistic, but I was terrified. I was jumping off a cliff with my girlfriend, who we weren't married yet, and I was starting a business. I was taking a flyer. And luckily I had a lot of customers that found me, a lot of customers that appreciated the work that I did and had done in the industry at the time. And just very grateful. I've got so many customers to thank that have been there, that I've treated forever. 15 plus years. And they've been incredibly supportive of me, and it means the world to me and my family, and be able to just do this for a living. That's amazing to me. That's what America is to me. Put your name on a truck, go do business, do reasonable work, reasonable business, be involved in the community. That money stays in the community. You pay your taxes, you donate to things in the community, and we all lift everything up. And so I'm just optimistic. So in conclusion, for this long rambling sort of history of Shipley Pest Solutions, I guess what this truck really represents to me is where I was and where I've come from and where I'm going. 7 hard years, blood, sweat, tears, new wife, new house, new building we can work in, 2 wonderful, amazing kids, couple new employees, couple old, and a wife who has learned to adapt, who wanted to be a teacher and has learned to adapt to be a wonderful mom and an office manager and kind of run and corral things. This represents where we've been, and it helped us get to where we're going. And so overall, I'm incredibly optimistic about 2025. Having the new employee come on board, he's very enthusiastic. eager to learn. Like I said, we've been working together for almost 6 months now. Having my stepdad in the picture, having him help us as well has been wonderful. And so it just feels like for the first time in many, many years, and really probably since the business's inception, since I've kind of got my life focused, I'm ready. I'm really ready. And I'm no longer approaching everything from an individualistic standpoint, like I'm going to go to war myself. I'm excited at the idea of building a team. I'm excited at the idea of training and developing and being able to deploy a team and really figure a lot of this stuff out with other people. And 2025, I'm incredibly optimistic. So this is the end of an era, but I really think it marks the beginning of a new era. I look back, most people know, average businesses last 2 to 3 years. We're getting ready to enter year 8. And I'm incredibly thankful and grateful of our customers, first and foremost. And secondly, I'm just incredibly grateful of the people around me that have helped us get here. My brother, my wife, our parents, just everybody. I am just truly a grateful person. And that's something that maybe I was, but wasn't as good at, 7, 8 years ago when we started the business. And so I think it's just important to document kind of where we've come from. This marks the end of an era, the original era that got Shipley Pest Solutions here. And I couldn't be more excited for where we're going. And the team that we're putting together, training, building, growing accounts, satisfying accounts, improving on our end where we need to improve, because certainly we're not perfect. We're very good, but we're not perfect. And I'm just incredibly grateful of you all. I appreciate customers and those that will see this, and really just couldn't be happier. And so cheers to, as we wind down December here, cheers to a great 2024 and to an incredibly sky is the limit 2025. Thanks, everybody.